It's a good afternoon, actually evening to people, and it's the middle of June now. And just wanted to say it's been nice the last couple of days. The weather's been pretty warm and still nice for walking. Though you go out in the morning and it's a little cooler, and then in the middle of the day it warms up. But I'm carrying a small umbrella to keep the sun off, and it serves two purposes. It serves to keep the sun off your head, and also it keeps the rain off. Today was a really interesting day. I met a couple of folks live in Vancouver, and they have a couple of younger children still going to school, and kind of reminded me of the time when my wife was about the same age and had kids going to school. And this couple been in Vancouver for a spell, and when we're talking about retiring, probably in 4 or 5 years, and so I told him about like my late wife and I had a great time. We retired at age 57, and at that time we had full pension benefits, working for 35 years. And I can remember sitting drinking coffee with a couple of guys that used to work with the Highways Ministry. And at that particular time, we started being retired, and we bought a 32-foot motorhome, and we were traveling. We would start traveling on the 1st of April and then bring it in and park it for the winter at the end of October. Pardon me. So our particular cost of operation, the cost of the gasoline was running between $3,000 and $4,000 a year. And a couple of the older fellows we used to drink coffee with said, "Dude, it must be nice to spend all that money on gasoline." And at the time, I wasn't too concerned about it because we were staying in the motorhome and we were making our own meals in many cases. And also, we weren't paying big bucks for motels, camping along the road. Pardon me, we camp along the road and by lakes and streams and people's backyards and by churches and ball fields, sometimes at Walmart. And so really our camping fees were not a big deal. So the cost of gasoline actually covered our sleeping, because we were sleeping in the motorhome. It had room for 6 people. In many cases, we had 4, maybe 5 or 6. But in most cases, it was Barb and I alone. Traveling across Canada to Alaska. We did lots of traveling to the States, too. So anyway, when you think about the big picture, talking to these people kind of took me back to the time when Barb and I were traveling. And so if we think about that and think about the price, let's talk about $3,000, $3,000 to $3,500 worth of gasoline for 25 years. So it included the rooms and the travel and all that. We're making our own dinners and buying our food. And even if you stay at home, you still got to buy food. So, and you look at the big picture, and I tried to steer these people into renting a motorhome for maybe a month or two and trying it out. Because Canada is so big, and Alaska, there's so much to see. Like, you can travel. We used to travel 4 or 5 towns in Alberta in the summer. And so traveled all the towns across Canada and had so many things to see. We've seen rivers and volcano spots and dinosaur parks and everything there was to see. So the money is insignificant. But if you think about the big picture part of it, we were buying ourselves some memories. So I pointed out to this couple that it's really important that if you're getting up in the mid 50s now, or looking at retiring, say at mid 55 or maybe 57, if you don't do those kind of things, what happens later in life? They've got this is what seniors call a bucket list, and those are things you want to do before you kick the bucket. So we'd always talked about going to Nashville and to Branson, Missouri, and see the 2 Grand Ole Opry buildings in Nashville. That was on our bucket list. We had to do that. We took another couple of trail with us, Billy Thompson and his wife Alice, and we had a wonderful time. We've seen tons and tons of country music, entertainment things like you wouldn't believe. the Wapiland Hotel and downtown Nashville. It was really something else to see, and it was really worth doing. So in spending the money on gasoline in the motorhome and also some airplane travel, we were actually buying some memories. It's a gratitude. We had a lot of good times, and we're grateful that our health allowed us to do those kinds of things. A lot of people will say to me, "What's it like to be in the 80s now?" And I'm saying, it's a real pleasure because a lot of people don't get that pleasure. We've seen a lot of people that have died now in their in their 50 years of age, 50, 60, and 70, and never had the opportunity to go and travel. And I think maybe they've chose that. And that's okay too. It's let people do what they want to do. But we have to choose things because if something happens, if you're a married couple and let's say you're in your 40s or 50s and one of you has a heart attack or a cancer, nobody ever knows what happens. And all of a sudden you're bedridden. It might be for the rest of your life. So it's very unlikely then that your partner is going to want to go all by themselves to travel. So you probably sit around or lay around home or in the hospital and spend your time in retirement doing that. So we've been very fortunate. I've talked to a couple of highways guys do the same thing here. We're in our 80s, looking forward to mid 80s, and here we are driving, talking and walking and talking to people, enjoying this and enjoying that, and some people are still doing the long distance travel by going on ships abroad, travel on big ships around the world. So if we've got the health, look in the mirror in the morning and say, "God, I feel good today. I think I'll go and have a nice walk, or maybe get in the car and go for a trip to the Okanagan." Remember, we're on our own and we decide what we want to do. Always keeping in mind that if one of us dies, you're gonna have some money in the bank there that you might have planned. Well, maybe we should go on holidays one of these days. Well, if you don't do it, one of these days never happens. And death is coming for sure. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it behooves us to enjoy everything we can. And enjoyment, we're talking about walking and seeing Mother Nature and all the nice trees and flowering shrubs and the waterfalls and the clean rivers and lakes and stuff. And the beautiful sky when the sun is out and the clouds once in a while and the rainstorms. And they say that, the advantage of being bald is you can feel the rain. So when the rain drips on your head, you feel it. Well, you can pack an umbrella around. If it's raining too hard, you probably don't want to get totally wet. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that as a senior, I'm trying to encourage people to take advantage of the traveling before something happens to one of them. And if one of them dies, then the other person sometimes is reluctant to travel because they feel, oh, my husband's dead now or my wife's gone and there's nothing for me to do anymore because she's dead, so I guess I'll just have to lay down and die too. Well, that doesn't have to happen. If a person is fortunate and you find somebody out there about your same age and if you have a opportunity to drink coffee and get together a little bit and kill some time, and if you get along fairly decently, you can go for coffee, go for a show, or go for coffee, go for a drive in the country. Remember, it's whatever we can make happen. And there's no use crying and complaining about, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do that. Poor me. If you get into that mode of life, it's not fun anymore. To get up in the morning and if we're walking and talking and go and enjoy stopping, it don't matter if you meet people on the street you don't know. If they're standing there looking at the buildings, you can bet your life they're tourists. You can sit and talk to them and find out where they're from. And a lot of times they're from a town where you know somebody. And I found cases where you know somebody through a person, through a third party or fourth party. They're from a different town that you know about, but you haven't lived there. But you have some friends that are there. So all of a sudden you're talking to these people and they know somebody you know. Now there's a coincidence right there. And so we learn from people every day. We reattach with people that we knew over the years, and we should never go to meet Saint Peter when we go to heaven, depending on where we go. We don't know, that's a surprise. God's got that out there and saved a surprise for us. We should never walk up to the pearly gates and St. Peter standing there and say, was that all there was, Was there anything else we missed, Well, you have to make darn sure you don't miss it. Go out there and look and see everything you can, meet all the people you can, enjoy music, and enjoy Mother Nature. And remember, we have one life. And after after my wife passed away now in 2018, my attitude toward life has totally changed. We did lots of travel ahead of time, so I don't miss that part. I do miss it a little bit, but I don't miss it totally because the two of us went and we enjoyed that. We visited a lot of people all over the place, relatives and new friends and old friends, and we played at a lot of music festivals. And had a lot of good musicians and a lot of fun and lots of funny stories, and life has been really good for us. Yes, I do miss the fact that my wife of 55 years is gone, but we have so many nice pictures and videos, and we have the opportunity now when we meet new people to talk about things that we have done. And we also learn from them of things that they have done, and maybe we can learn to do something that they have done, because we're still not that old. We can't walk around and drive around and have fun. So I encourage people to, if something happens, for God's sake, if you can, if you got the money and you want to do it, just go do it. Because life goes by quickly. Looking back, 20 years has gone like a flash, eh? And time just goes on and on and on, and we talk about doing things. If we don't make them happen, don't forget, we're the only person that can make them happen. When you look in the mirror in the morning at yourself and you say, I feel good, maybe I'll go for a walk or go for a coffee, go with some friends. And every day we make the kind of a day we want. And if we're not happy with the way the things are going, we have the ability to change that. Go for a drive. Go and have a cup of coffee. Go look at a new car. Go down to have a walk along the beach. Go fishing. Go rafting. Go skiing or swimming. And there's lots of seniors clubs now. We can go down and play cards and stuff like that if we want to. I'm kind of choosing to do the activity one where we'll walk and keep active. I've chosen to try to keep as healthy as I can by keeping the muscles working and also getting lots of fresh air and exercise and sunshine. So I wanted to express my gratitude for being alive today and also meeting a lot of new people. And life is what we make it. So have yourself a great evening, and we look forward to talking to you later. Bye-bye for now.